data and media. Data represents the information landscape we build and maintain around us. Media represents the mechanisms we use to communicate and share our knowledge, even when sharing is seen as a force of coercion or manipulation. These two factors, data and media, are not chosen arbitrarily. Even before today's convergence of the Internet and the airwaves, both shared common aspirations and rhetoric. Media and data both have been considered means of liberation and oppression. For every paper extolling the open marketplaces of ideas, there is a great firewall of China, a highly censored Internet. For all the belief that free speech underpins our democracy, there are parallel discussions of propaganda and controlling the populace through programming and news. Just as the Internet and wide access to information was supposed to make us all smarter, mass media through the century has been presented as an instrument of learning. The printing press, the penny press, the telegraph, telephone, newspapers, radio programs, and television, think Sesame Street, were all supposed to lead to a better, more informed, and better educated society. Yet both the Internet and mass media have been accused of dumbing down the public, vast wastelands and distractions for the masses, cat videos instead of TED Talks, Gilligan's Island instead of Masterpiece Theater. Data and media were supposed to bring us together in a global community, yet both have been demonized as instruments of division and narrowcasting. Filter bubbles and Fox News allow an ever-spiraling series of belief reinforcement and tribalism undaunted by facts, or at least grounded in so-called alternative facts selected to match dogma. And for all the idealism and public narratives around data and media, there is a competing profit motive that will serve up utopia or dystopia, so long as it is paid for. To be clear, what is needed is much more than a simple call for a return to some mythical golden age of reason in which facts were worshipped and society held a common vision of the future. No such time ever existed. And as I'll discuss, facts have never been enough for a society, and common vision is often more a result of excluding people by race or economic status or religion or location than of truly building consensus. Also, the very idea of a common vision for a country or society has been shaped by wartime considerations. How has the reality of war, propaganda, and militarization shaped national narratives to this day? How have the wartime needs of our society for domestic morale and foreign alliances molded media and driven the development of data and science? My perspective and focus are on the United States, but hopefully connecting to global ideas and developments. In exploring these two pillars of our complex world, data and media, and their intersection, I will touch upon politics, economics, computer science, philosophy, and diversity. However, I am an information scientist, and that is my primary lens of examination. The treatment of the other domains are really just invitations for further investigation and conversation. It is an invitation because no one book, no one person could ever truly connect all of these dots. The inability to know everything can be paralyzing, but that's the purpose of this writing. In the face of this complexity, much of society has turned away from the very concept of expertise and replaced it with idolization of belief and the value of the gut. Simultaneously, much of science and scholarship have drawn away from a public culture that has a short attention span and can be cruel, even openly hostile to the scientific endeavor. Scholars from too many fields focus on increasingly narrow and specialized domains rewarded by systems that emphasize the novel. New breakthroughs over replication, proving over disproving, even though the cornerstone of any good science is falsifiability. In the vacuum of respected analysis, dataism has risen. Corporations and governments alike now look to make decisions by reading the digital trails left by the modern union of ubiquitous networks, massive-scale computing, machine learning, regulatory frameworks, and vast capital generated by a business model that turned people's behavior into monetized products. A business model so successful, the economy